Hi, I'm Blythe Stephens of Blythe Coach, dance education and coaching to move through life with balance, grace, and power. And I'm excited to bring you a ballet concept today that is so fun to watch and also to perform. This is batterie, or beats of the legs, in which we brilliantly beat both legs against each other or one against the other, depending on the step. So we're building on our foundation of ballet jumping technique. If you're just starting out with that, then go back and check out my saucy prances and sautés and some other basic sauté and échappé jumps. And then come join me for this theory, which as we advance our practice becomes a really fun addition to our ballet variations and allegro steps. If you're joining me in real time, we are in the middle of week 2 as I'm filming of my Adaptive Adult Summer Dance Intensive. We're building the foundation for dance technique and artistry, and depending on the amount of time you have each day and where you are in your practice, you can completely customize this program. So check out my blog of that same name, the Adaptive Adult Summer Dance Intensive, to learn more about this free intensive dance program. That's ablythecoach.com, ablythecoach.com. In Basic Principles of Classical Ballet, Russian Ballet Technique by Agrippina Vaganova, she describes beats like this. Beats, the general French term for which is batterie, are steps in which one leg is beaten against the other. Beats bring into ballet the element of brilliance, of virtuosity, and therefore the execution of them does not allow any carelessness, approximation, or simplification, or they would lose their raison d'être. In the practice of beats, one must adhere to the following rules necessary for sharp and brilliant beat. During the beat, both legs must be equally well extended. One should never beat with one leg while the other is in a passive state. Before each beat, one must not forget to open the leg slightly so as to get a sharp and clear-cut beat. In this manner, when a beat is done from the fifth position at the beginning of the jump, the legs must be slightly open to the sides. If you don't follow this rule, you'll get a fuzzy smear, which will look more like an obstruction to the dance than a virtuoso pas. If a beat is done with legs opened in advance, i.e. not from fifth position, the legs must again slightly open after the beat and only then assume the required terminating pose. Beats should not be simplified, but on the contrary, practiced in their most complex form. For instance, small beats like royale, entrechats, trois, quatre, cinq, should be done close to the floor. This will force you to cross the legs very quickly with a short, sharp movement. This is much more difficult, but there is more compactness, energy, and brilliance in such beats. If these small beats are done during a big jump high in the air, you have enough time to do the beats, but the performance loses brilliance. There are 3 classifications of beats: pas battu, entrechats, and brisé. Pas battu. Any step embellished with a beat is called pas battu. When the pupils begin to do the more difficult pas allegro, these pas can be done with a beat. For example, saut de basque, which is very difficult, jeté entrechats with a beat, which is usually done by men, etc. Assemblé with a beat, have brisé. Jeté with the beat from the right foot is done thus. The right leg thrust into second position, beats the left one in front. On the return, it manages to open slightly before you fall on it in demi-plie. We can also small échappé with beat, échappé battu. Entrechat, royale. Entrechats quatre. Entrechats quatre is called thus because the leg moves as if going through 4 lengths of a broken line. 1, opening, 2, beat back, 3, opening, 4, closing into 5th position front. I repeat again that the entire brilliance of this pas, its entire meaning, is to do it as close to the floor as possible, sharply opening and crossing the legs. It must be felt that the beat is done with both legs. And I love this little diagram. It shows the path of each leg traveling to the side and closing, so opening and closing, as we go through each of the basic batterie. The Cecchetti method of classical ballet theory and technique by Cyril W. Beaumont and Stanislas Idzikowski describes a variety of allegro or jumps, including grand assemblé dessous, ballonné simple devant, échappé sauté à la seconde, ballonné à trois temps, échappé sur le point, entrechats quatre, and so forth. Particularly relevant to our discussion of beats of the legs is entrechats quatre. Stand erect in the center of the room and face 5 with the head upright, the feet in 5th position, right foot front, and the arms in 5th position en bas. Demi-plie and spring slightly upward into the air off both feet. While the body is in the air, simultaneously interchange the feet, allowing the knees to bend and beat the feet one against the other. At the moment of alighting, simultaneously interchange the feet and come to the ground, allowing the knees to bend with the feet in the 5th position, right foot front. The Ballet Companion by Eliza Gaynor Minden includes a lovely discussion on batterie. Embellishing Allegro's quick, light jumps with batterie beats adds much to its sparkle and its difficulty. To perform a step battu, you beat your thighs, crisscrossing your legs in the air so they switch places. Certain steps don't switch feet. You separate your legs just enough to smartly close and open them again, producing the effect of clapping your legs as you might clap your hands. It's really the thighs, not the ankles or the feet, that beat. Almost any jump can be performed battu. Additionally, some steps such as brise, cabriole, and entrechat are beats by definition. Cabriole and brise beat the legs at an angle to the body. Cabriole can be done to the front, side, or back, with the angle of the legs ranging from a very slight to above 90 degrees. Brise is a traveling variant of assemblé battu. The effect of brise is amplified when they are performed one after the other in quick succession. Done alternately from front to back, the step becomes the spectacular brise volée. Entrechats begin with the relatively simple royale. Louis XIV is said to have invented this step in his attempts to master entrechats quatre. But this is disputed, and some maintain that Louis' royale was actually an entrechats cinq. Known as changement battu in the English system, royale is most often a changement with a beat at the beginning. Getting it right so it doesn't just look like a sticky changement is actually more difficult than entrechats quatre because it requires opening the legs to a small but clear second position en l'air before beating. As the number grows bigger, the steps become harder. In entrechats quatre or entrechat 4, the legs cross twice in the air so you land in the same position as you started from. Each crossing of the legs raises the number by 2, and entrechat 6 crosses the leg 3 times in midair. The front leg goes to the back, then returns to the front, then ends in the back. The terminology is not so mysterious if you think of it this way. Each opening of the legs counts as 1, and each closing of the legs counts as 1. Entrechat can travel, and entrechat de volée, flying, or land on one foot with the other in sur le coup de pied. In most schools, even number entrechats land on 2 legs, odd on 1, An entrechat trois is a royale that ends with one leg sur le coup de pied front or back. An entrechat cinq is an entrechat quatre landing in the same way. When we mark these steps, we use our hands to describe the movement, or sometimes we'll mark it with one leg and without a jump. So this is a great way to get the numbering system and the pattern in your mind before you start launching into the air. So we're going to practice starting at the bar. And like I said, as a warm-up, it's important to do a dance warm-up, to do your pliés and your tendus and whatnot before you start jumping, and then build on that successively through prances and through sautés and such. So regular sautés in first position, we will have already done. And then the way to start adding beats would be to go to changement and royale. So changement, we need either a third or a fifth position. For me, it's not important, but you need to choose which one and that it be clear. So for more beginning dancers, I do recommend third position, or for older dancing legs that don't like to make fifth position anymore, you can also take third. And as you plie, you prepare to spring, and then we'll roll through both feet, toe, heel, ball, toe, all the way to extended legs to jump, and then land with the other leg in front, toe, ball, heel, plie. And that is changement. I'm jumping my head out of the picture, but that's okay. Then royale will beat the legs first. So rather than directly opening the thighs out and directly closing them, it's as if we squeeze the thighs together before changing the feet. As Vaganova mentioned, we don't necessarily need to have a high jump in order to do this. It does make it easier, but we do need to move the legs quickly. So you can also check out some of my Petit battu and seated leg beats to warm up the quick moving of the legs. But that's trying not to be sticky, but instead beating cleanly. Royale will look like this. So a royale landing on one foot will be an entrechat trois. The next number will be entrechat quatre, and we beat the front leg to the back and then land in the front. So each leg beats twice, which equals four, or quatre. That's with one foot. Of course, both feet work for this. Entrechat quatre, landing on one foot, will be entrechat cinq. And entrechat six, set and huit are truly advanced indeed. We don't see six and up usually in classical ballet with female dancers, but increasingly all kinds of people are trying out brilliant beats. I think this is awesome. I don't usually include such beats until we get to a very advanced level. So we're going to worry about six, set, and huit, etc. in the future and start out our changement royale, entrechat trois, quatre, and maybe cinq. So our beating échappés will be as if we're starting a royale, and then we'll land with the legs out. We can also beat on the way back in either on the way out or the way in, or both as the legs escape and both as the legs return. For example, my right leg will start in front, it'll move to the back and open, and then it will move to the front and back as we close. Or my left leg will be to the back and then land in second, and then to the front before landing in back. And of course, there's many other limitless variations of that. Landing on one foot, we can make a jeté, we could do Petit jeté with a beat. So I do have another video already on assemblé where we're assembling the legs in the air, and we can also add beats to that. If it travels and we take a little lean into it, we have brisé, which is that assemblé battu variation, and many, many other beautiful and virtuosic jumps with beats. Soon I'll be including more content on some of these various beating steps in simple and more advanced combinations. So stay tuned for that and lots more. Thanks for joining me for brilliant batterie. These brilliant beats that sparkle and allow the light to flash between the legs in ballet performance. I hope you enjoyed learning the theory and will go on to pursue the practice with me. Check out my other ballet bar and ballet center videos, as well as playlists of port-de-bras, arm artistry, body part specific training and conditioning to prevent injury and to advance your practice. See you next time. Entrechats 6, entrechats 8, entrechats 3, entrechats 5, entrechats 7, entrechats de volet. It is easier to begin the study of beats with échappé and then work on assemblé and jeté. So we'll follow that form with royale and then échappé, and then finally with assemblé and jeté jumps brisé. So I do have another video already on assemblé where we're assembling the legs in the air, and we can also add beats to that. If it travels and we take a little lean into it, we have brisé, which is that assemblé battu variation, and many, many other beautiful and virtuosic jumps with beats. Soon I'll be including more content on some of these various beating steps in simple and more advanced combinations. So stay tuned for that and lots more. Thanks for joining me for brilliant batterie. These brilliant beats that sparkle and allow the light to flash between the legs in ballet performance. I hope you enjoyed learning the theory and will go on to pursue the practice with me. Check out my other ballet bar and ballet center videos, as well as playlists of port-de-bras, arm artistry, body part specific training and conditioning to prevent injury and to advance your practice. See you next time.